Now let us talk about the resolution of vector, guys. So vector can be resolved as follow. So until now, what you were doing is that you were writing your vector in the two component form, or in many component form. Let us say a1 vector, a2 vector, or something. So your vector a can be expressed as the sum of two vector, one obtained by multiplying a vector namely small a by a real number lambda, and the other obtained by multiplying the vector b by another real number mu. Okay, for example, now what I'm doing over here is I'm taking again the triangle law itself. So as you know that this will be your a vector. Okay, so it must be the resultant of some another vectors. Okay, it can be the resultant of other two vectors also. So here I'm taking as a vector and b vector. Okay, so let us take then example. So a vector is, let us say, 5i cap, 5j cap, and 5k cap. Let us say I'm having a vector a as I cap, j cap, k cap, and vector b as 3i cap plus 3j cap plus 3k cap. So if I add both of them by multiplying them with an appropriate constant, real number constant, then I can get my a vector back. Okay, how I can do that? Let us say I'm multiplying my a vector over here, small a vector, with a value of 2. So 2 multiplied by a vector plus 1 multiplied by b vector gives me my a vector back. Okay, so lambda here is, lambda 1 is 2, lambda 2 is 1, so I'm getting back my resultant a vector. So how? That's how you resolve your vector in the two component form. You just expressed it as a sum of two other vectors multiplied by some constant. Okay, now let us talk about the coordinate system. So this is your Cartesian coordinate system. This is your x, this is your y, and this is your x. So if you want to represent yourself dancing in this coordinate system, you can just represent by having yourself on this coordinate system. For example, this guy is at a certain position, let us say x and y, according to this coordinate system, where this is my origin. So it will be very easy for me to give you the position of this particular guy which is dancing on the screen over here. Okay, fine with that. So that's your Cartesian coordinate system, guys. Now let us take resolution of vector in two dimensions. So you are having your Cartesian coordinate system, your xy plane as follow, and you want to resolve your vector a on this. How you will be doing it? As you know that your a vector can be represented as the sum of other two vector, then these other two vector must be having a certain value. Okay, so what I'm doing is using the basic trigonometry, I can say that, let us say this vector namely o p, which is a vector over here, is having a magnitude of, let us say, a bar. Okay, it is having a certain magnitude. Now if I have to represent this vector, or let us say it is having a magnitude a itself. Okay, so I have to represent this line over this x line by trigonometry. I can say that I can find out this length over here. Okay, it will be nothing but it will be a cos theta. Okay, now you can find out the length of oy also with this vector, with this line op, by using trigonometry. It will be coming out to be a sine theta. Now you have to represent this ay and ax in the form of vector. Now as you can see that these magnitudes are running in x direction and in y direction, and from the previous slides I have told you that I cap belongs to x direction, this unit vector I cap belongs to x direction, and this unit vector j cap belongs to your y direction. So what I can write it as in the vector form, ax I cap, and for the ay I can write it as ay j cap, and assign two of my vectors to both of them. Let us say that ax I cap is my a1 vector and a2 vector is ay j cap. Okay, fine with that. So that's how we can write our vector, and we have resolved both of the vector, means I have resolved my vector in both of the system over here in x and y. Fine with that. The components are as follow: a cos theta and a sin theta, which I have done by the use of simple trigonometry. Now let me remind you, if you have to find the resultant of this, you'll be getting this same thing back. Why? Because if you have to apply Pythagoras theorem over here, so a cos theta whole square plus a sin theta whole square, and a square will be taking, means we will be taking a to be common, so a sin square theta plus cos square theta, and you will be getting out again as a. Okay, so magnitude of a will be something like this. Okay, now if you want to have this angle theta, just apply tan theta value and you will be landing up with the px upon xo, and you know the value of px is nothing but a sin theta and xo is nothing but a cos theta. So that's your value of the angle at which resultant is inclined with respect to your x-axis. Important point, guys, that if you are having any vector, let us say a vector, which is running in the x direction, and you want to resolve it in the y direction, then you cannot do that. Okay, you cannot just resolve any vector perpendicular to that of vector, okay, in the direction perpendicular to it. You cannot resolve any vector in the direction perpendicular to it. For example, a is running in the x direction, so you cannot just resolve your a vector in the y direction, as well as you cannot resolve this b vector which is running in y direction in the direction of x. Okay, second thing is to note down that, let us say that you are having this r as your resultant vector and you want to resolve this r in the newly formed coordinate system, which is x dash and y dash, which is at an angle alpha and beta respectively to this r over here. What you can do is you can use the sine law. By applying the sine law, you can just simplify it and you can have the component which is ry and rx of this r vector on this x dash and the y dash. Okay, this is the formula I've written over here. You can just refer it and you can find the value. Now you have to resolve a vector along and perpendicular to the line which is making an angle 60° with x-axis. So this is your intended line which is making an angle of 60° with your x-axis, and you want to resolve your vector along a line which is perpendicular to this line, this 60° line. So this is my line, this dotted line will be my main line over here. Okay, so what I am doing over here is, let us say that I am having these two components as follow. Ax is in the x direction itself and ay is running in the y direction itself. So what I can do is I can resolve this ax and ay component along this line and in the direction of perpendicular to this line. I can see over here that this ax is at an angle of 60° with respect to my this line over here. Okay, fine. So the component in this line along this line will be nothing but ax cos 60°, and a component along this perpendicular line will be nothing but ax sine 60°. Fine with that? Now let us talk about ay. So ay will be having a component of ay cos 30° along this line and a component of ay sine 30° in the line perpendicular to this 60° line over here. As you can see, I've resolved everything and I've formed a solution over here. So here, as you can see, both of the vectors are in the same direction over here. So I have added them up because both of them in the perpendicular line are opposite to that of each other. I have subtracted them, keeping in mind that, let us say I am having ax sine 60° greater than that of my ay sine 30°. Okay, so henceforth I have said that the direction will be in this direction only, in the direction of ax sine 60°. Now let us solve the following wedge problem, which is most frequently asked in the physics itself. You have to resolve a weight of 10 Newton in the two direction which are parallel and perpendicular to a slope inclined at an angle 30° to the horizontal. Okay, so you want to find this w2 and w perpendicular. Okay, you want these two component of the weight. First one is perpendicular, second one is along the wedge itself. This is your weight. So now you know that this angle will be 30°. Okay, your angle will be 30°. By the basic geometry, you know that if I mark if I mark my this line as perpendicular to this, I will be having an angle of 60 degree over here. Then this perpendicular line is perpendicular to this, so I can have 90 degree minus 60 degree, an angle of 30 degree over here. Fine with that? So now W perpendicular will be nothing but 10 cos 30, and W parallel will be nothing but W sine 30. Fine. Now you have to resolve this force, which is of 8 Newton at an angle of 45 degree acting in your XY axis. You have to resolve them. You can do it by yourself. Okay, that's a homework problem for you guys. Okay, let us discuss about the procedure to solve a vector equation. So let us have a vector equation as follow: a vector equal to b vector plus c vector. Now here you can see that there are 6 variable. Magnitude of a and its direction gives you 2 variable, magnitude of b and its direction counts up to 2 variable, and magnitude of c and its direction counts up to another 2 variable. So 2 plus 2 plus 2, there are 6 variables. Okay, now we can solve this equation if we know the value of 4 variable, among which 2 must of them will be the direction. 2 must be the direction. Now if you know the direction of the 2, direction of third will be very easy to find. For example, here you can see that a vector equal to b vector plus c vector, a vector equal to b vector plus c vector. Then by the simple law of addition you can represent them b vector, c vector, and this is my a vector. Certainly if I know this direction, if I know this direction, I can certainly point out the direction of a vector also. Okay, then what you have to do is you have to make the vector diagram according to the equation, resolve the vector, and you have to know the unknown values. As we have got the knowledge of vector equations, how to solve them, we will be using that knowledge in this question. Find out the magnitude of b vector and the direction of a vector if b vector is making an angle of 37 degree, c vector is making an angle of 53 degree respectively with your x-axis. A and C are having a magnitude of 10 and 5 respectively. The equation is given to you: a plus b plus c vector equal to 0. This is your vector equation. Now first of all you can say that if a plus b plus c vector equal to 0, then I can write as a or minus a equal to c plus b. I have taken everything over here. Now I am marking my vector b vector and c vector appropriately. So my b vector was at an angle of 37 degree with respect to x-axis, and c vector is at an angle of 53 degree with respect to x-axis over here. So let us say that I am having my a vector in this direction only, or let us say that I am having my a vector as this. This is my, let us say, my a vector whose angle is unknown to me. Okay, and whose magnitude is also unknown to me, which I can find it out very pretty much easily because I know everything. Okay, but here it is given that you are having the value of a magnitude as 10, c magnitude as 5, the angle of a b and c as 37 and 53. So 4 variables are given to you. Out of 6, 4 variables are given to you, and as per the slides itself we have seen that 2 direction must be given to us, and here 2 directions are given to us as well as the 2 values are given to us. So it's a pretty much easy job to do. What you can do is, let us say my a vector is in the following direction: ax I cap and ay j cap. Negative of that vector will be as follow. Okay, fine with that. Now you can find it out ax and ay by resolving this b and c vector very easily over here. Fine. Now why I have taken a negative over here is because I am concerned about my negative a vector over here. Okay, that will give my negative a vector. Now I know that these are the equations which are I am having, in which b and c values are not given. Okay, c value I know that it is having a magnitude of 5, but I cannot bluntly put it over here. Okay, I can put, but I will be putting it in the later stage. But I am not knowing the value of b over here, and I have to find that magnitude. But I know that magnitude of a is given to me, so I can pretty much write this resultant value over here. Put these two equations over here, in which value of c is given to me as 5. Put it over here, do the necessary algebra, and you will be landing up with the following quadratic equation over here. Fine. Solve this quadratic equation, find the value of b. B is having a value of 5 itself. Now you can have the value of ax and ay, both of them. Then after which you can have the value of tan theta also, at which your angle, at which your vector a will be inclined to your x-axis. Okay, so that's your answer. But the thing is, you are concerned about negative of a vector. So if you are having your a vector at a certain angle of this, then your negative a vector will be at an angle of 180 degree plus this angle. Okay, so net answer will be nothing but theta plus 180 degree logically from the x-axis itself. That you have to keep in mind. Fine. Now let us move to the next one. You have to find the magnitude of f1 and f2 if f1 and f2 are making an angle of 30 degree and 45 degree. f3 and f3 magnitude is 10 Newton given to you. Okay, so here you can see that there are two directions given to you and one magnitude easily given to you. This is your vector equation. What you can do is just simply, as you can see over here, in the x direction I can resolve it as f1 cos, or f1 because angle is over here, f1 sine 30 degree, and here f2 sine 30 degree. Okay, this is f2 sine 30 degree, this is f1 sine 30 degree. Now in this direction nothing is happening over here, so I can equate both of them. So f2 sine 30 degree will be equated to f1 sine 30 degree, because you know that my resultant vector is along y direction itself, it is not along my x direction. So I can say that my f2 sine 30 degree minus my f1 sine 30 degree should be equal to 0, because everything is 0 in this. Okay, according to the question, f3 is acting only in y direction, so in x direction everything is equal to 0. So henceforth I can have my value of f1 and f2 from it. Okay, so I am having a relation of f1 with f2. Okay, so I've mistaken the angle over here, so it's an angle of 45 degree. Okay, you guys should not make silly mistake like as I'm making over here. So f2 sine 45 degree minus f1 sine 30 degree equal to 0. Here you will be getting a relation in between f1 and f2. Now you know that in the y direction, magnitude of f3 is given to you, and in the y direction I can write it as f2 cos 45 degree plus f1 cos 30 degree should be equal to that of your f3. Okay, and the magnitude is given to you. Okay, so you'll be having your equation as follow. Just use the trigonometry. Now you are having first equation as this one, second equation as this one, so two equation, two variable, and you can have your values of f1 and f2 pretty much easily.